You got me. I am not in my regular YouTube setup. I am actually supposed to be coaching now. My client did not show up. So I have a few minutes here and I wanted to put together this video to tell you something interesting. When I started working at Morgan Stanley as an associate, I was making just a little over $80,000, and that's including bonus. You look across all the banks in the spectrum, I mean, this is pretty normal for an associate, unless you're an investment banker or equity researcher or one of those coveted front office roles. But then a few years later, I was making over $200K consistently as an associate. And the question is, like, how did I do that? How did I go from 80K to over 200K as an associate at the same bank with the same degree? Like, not much changed. And I can summarize it like this. I went from doing IT work in IT to doing IT work in the front office. A lot of people think like programming or data and dealing with technology is either for super smart people who are going to be like in machine learning or something like this, or it's for like the back office nerds. But as these technologies are becoming more and more prevalent, what's happening is front offices having a much bigger craving and desire for them. And there are very few people in front office who actually have these skills. And this is very important because of IT budget constraints. And this is how it works. Let's say we have a division. So I, for example, worked for years on the stock loan trading desk. So let's use that as an example. Let's say Goldman Sachs, okay? So Goldman Sachs has a stock loan trading desk where they have traders and they have sales and they have strats, etc., etc. Let's say that desk brings in $10 billion in revenue one year. Sounds crazy to you? It's not. These numbers are real. So let's say they bring in $10 billion in revenue. As crazy as it sounds, the IT team that is responsible for covering that desk probably gets like a $20 million budget. That's minuscule. But the IT team that needs to build the infrastructure, pay for the database, hire developers, they get about $20 million in spend. And what does that spend cover? Well, it covers salaries, it covers the bonus pool, it covers technology, as in the systems they have to pay for, it covers just a whole bunch of things, subscriptions, etc., 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 training, everything. Now, what happens is because of this, they have to do a budget. They have a budget committee that does the planning on how to spend that money. By the way, this isn't just IT. Every division goes through this, but IT is much more meticulous about it because they have goals and projects that they need to finish. So what happens is the year prior, let's say it's 2023 now, so in 2022, towards the end of the year, the IT managing directors will gather all the projects they have planned for the business that they're covering. They will sit down with the heads of the business and say, look, you've given us $20 million to spend for 2023. Here are the projects that we think with that budget constraint, we can reasonably finish in 2023. And they show them the list of all the projects that they can actually do. The business leaders look it over. They say, well, you have that at number one. That's not nearly as important as number three. And then on this meeting, they move things around back and forth. Okay, everyone's happy. The dust settles and we're good. IT knows exactly how and when they're going to deliver projects. We happen to have a senior trader by the name of Bill, okay? And Bill is doing work for his hedge fund clients, as stock loan traders do. And he recognizes that we're missing a key metric that should come from the database. It's really important. And if we can get that metric on the reports, the hedge fund clients are going to be way happier. Cool. So Bill spends some time, comes up with a formula. Beautiful. We're good. He sends it to IT and he says, we need to get this ASAP into our tables because then we can show it in the reports. And our hedge fund clients are going to be like, wow, Goldman Sachs is light years ahead of everyone else in terms of analytics. Fabulous. Okay. The developers say, well, we have our projects for 2023. This is actually, it looks like one field. It's a lot of work because we have to recalculate that, and we have this already autosys process that's getting these jobs done. It's going to be a heavy lift. So they forward it to their managing director, who looks it over and says, okay, we can do that in 2024. Then Bill gets very angry, and Bill goes to his manager and says, what's up? This isn't cool. We need this. This will change our business. Then the manager speaks to the manager, head of IT, and the head, and they, if you've ever been in banking, you know there's not exaggeration. The two managers are yelling at each other. How can you do this to me? You told me I can spend the budget on this, and you're going to start moving things around. It's going to make me crazy. No, you don't understand. The business needs it, and they're fighting back and forth all over one number. This is like exactly what happens every single year. This probably happens every week in banking, in every single global bank. So when I joined Morgan Stanley the second time, I left to come back. If you've watched my stories before, like I knew I was coming back. The whole value that I was bringing in coming back to Morgan Stanley was I was coming onto the trading desk with a set of unique skills where I could perform data engineering and automated reporting. The idea was, it's really two separate things. The idea was data engineering. I could take the IT data sets and their tables, and I can craft them and massage them and recreate their data and build my own tables, which could serve the desk exactly as they needed it. And then on the reporting front, I could build automated reports so that users could push go, generate report, or click on some parameters they want, and it can build new reports with those analytics that I've created. What's so cool about this? Well, what's so cool is we no longer need to get IT involved. As long as I have access to my own database, I can build my entire own system, basically, from back-end data, everything on my own, and then develop the reports on my own. I'm a one-man machine. I'm IT, I'm project management, I'm time management, I'm everything, and I'm a trader all in one. Sounds a little too good to be true. Well, I'm not going to go through exactly how, but I can tell you I generated millions in revenue for the desk, and I did it by having this skill set. And there was no one else on my team with the technical capabilities of creating AutoSys jobs, consuming the IT trading tables early in the morning, exactly as they finish loading, rebuilding them with the analytics that I discussed with the traders, and then designing my own tables and loading those up, and then having my reports automatically start pulling data from those tables and producing reports for the hedge fund clients. I did it. And the desk was making so much money for me that my salary and my bonuses reflected that very well. What's the point of all this? Well, this was, first of all, just an idea for you to understand how and why there are so much pains in getting IT projects done in banks. But secondly, it's a sales pitch. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. That's exactly what it is. So every once in a while I offer a boot camp, and I realize I've been doing it completely wrong. I've been offering like this advanced data reporting bootcamp, but it's really two separate things, as I've discussed. There is the data engineering side, which nobody has. It's very rare for finance students to have this. It includes understanding database systems, different languages, understanding ETL processes, AutoSys jobs, being able to write scripts that can pull and load data, all this sort of stuff. And then there's the part of whether you're in Excel or you're in Python or you're in Tableau, building reporting that leverages these new systems and can automatically load and reload data. It's two separate components. And because of that, what I'm doing is instead of offering my $2,000 bootcamp, I'm breaking it off in two $975 bootcamps. And the first one is launching this September. So what's crazy is I posted about this on LinkedIn yesterday, and already I have more people than I was expecting, and I have a TA that was assigned, and it's too many for that TA to handle. So I'm going to have to bring on more TAs, but I thought I'd put this in YouTube to just kind of cover another base. The idea is the first bootcamp is going to be purely about data engineering. I'm going to give you, and I have interns who are graduating right now from really good universities with computer science majors, and they don't know any of these skills that I'm going to show in this bootcamp. I'm going to cover everything I talked about. True data engineering, understanding the data sets in IT, how and why they create tables the way they do, how we can, once those tables are done loading, start loading our own tables, how to massage them, how to create new analytics, and how to do it exactly as each table finishes loaded and follow up the processes. All of this is going to be basically in 2 full Sundays, and you're going to have a teacher assistant assigned, and what you do is after the first one, then we're going to have the sequel project, which is basically the midterm, and then after the second one, you're going to have to build this whole engineering set basically yourself, and that's going to be the final project for the bootcamp. So this is going to be in September. The link to register is down below. I know by the time this video is out, there might not be any spots left at all. I'll offer another one next year, but if you can, click the link and it's available. Just quickly fill it out to reserve your spot. I'll send you an email following up afterwards. In November, I'm going to offer the automated reporting section of this, which is going to be the same price. It's going to be the secondary bootcamp, which you had to have completed the first part first, because we're going to use this new data set that you created to build this reporting. So anyhow, really long sales pitch, but also I hope this was interesting to you to understand how and why some associates now are making so much more than other ones while using IT skills, which in the past haven't been very exciting. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy this, found this entertaining at the least. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, whether it's regarding the bootcamp, regarding IT, systems, anything. I'm happy to answer them down below, and I'll see you next week.